carrots up below. Seen your pretty soon as you came in that door. I just wanted you, got a set for us to roll.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is an update video because I'm done with my first year. I'm now going to my second year, and I want to share some mistakes I made in my first year so that it doesn't happen again, and also maybe in case it might happen to anyone, they can prevent this. Okay, so some of the mistakes I made was that when I first came to uni, I had an A-level mindset. So I thought I could be independent. You know how you could use YouTube. If you don't understand what your teacher was saying, you could use YouTube to explain some certain topics. That's what I was doing in A-levels, and I thought that I could do that in uni. Most of the topics aren't even online, so it was a waste of my time. The mistake I made was that I was watching YouTube videos to give me tips on what to know for uni, and I came across a YouTuber called Sophia Lara. She's really great at giving helpful revision tips and all of that. I'll link her channel below. Okay, so I was watching her video and I learned that I could make notes. Like, I knew I could make notes, but like she said that that's one of the best ways to study. So I did that. So I was like making notes for all my subjects. But the thing was, instead of writing in my own words into my own understanding, I was just kind of condensing the textbook basically. That's the nicest way I can put it, because I found that I could do that for one subject, but when it came to something like Foundations of Business, where the books are like huge, I was like, oh my god, there's a lot to write, and I was just panicking. So yeah. The other mistake I made was I was practicing tutorials with the solution beside. So every time I got stuck at an answer, you know, sometimes you tell yourself, I can do this problem by myself, yeah. So you start working, you start doing the work, but then when you now get to that place you don't understand, you're like, okay, let me just check quickly. You not check, you not say, okay, I'll remember it, but you won't remember it. Because next time you see that problem, you just be like, how did they do it again? Because you didn't actually sit down to solve that thing on your own. So that was a mistake I made. I was having my solutions with my tutorial. Another thing was I was recording my lectures, and because I was recording, I felt like sometimes if I didn't understand what the teacher was saying, I was like, I'll go and listen to the recording when I get home. And sometimes, because in my subconscious I knew I was recording, I just said, I don't really need to listen. So I didn't mind if I got distracted. I would be on the Yiki and stuff like that. And that's not right, you know? So yeah, that's one of the mistakes. One was that I was going straight home after the lecture to study, so I should have known myself. I should have set my ass down after the lecture to, you know, understand what was going on, because immediately I got home, I just found myself like watching series like Pretty Little Liars or Suits or something. And while I was making all these mistakes, I started getting overwhelmed by the amount of workload I had. Like, everyone in uni usually gets overwhelmed at a point in uni, but mine came super early. I was on the verge of tears. I was just like, I'm messing up. I was thinking too much. I was like, I'm going back and forth. I'm not making any progress, because I found that I didn't understand some topics in some subjects, and I'll just be like, okay, I'll come back to you. Let me just continue with what the lecturer is teaching me right now and focus on the ones I do understand. Thing was, I was also asking my friend what their studying method was, rather than, you know, think about what was best for me. I was always like, oh, you're so good at the subject, how do you study for it? Like, what's your secret? Like, how are you getting such good grades, you know? The thing, even though the thing was, I'm not really I'm a social person, but I would rather, let's say I'm an introvert, okay, I'm an introvert, and I didn't mind if I didn't have social interaction, because my priority was my studies. So I was not giving myself a break. I was just like working hard, but I wasn't really working smart, if I'm honest with myself. So, okay, now I'm just gonna talk about how I found that I can resolve the issues I had first year. So in my second year, this is the new order I'm gonna go by. I realized this all too late. I realized this last year, but it was during the exam period I realized this, so it wasn't really helpful. So let's say you're starting a course called business management, or something like that. You get your course booklet for each of your subjects. Note the topics and the recommended reading, and download past papers for each subject, and put all the questions from each past paper into a Word document first. And note the ones that repeat themselves, so you know that these are the ones I want to focus on. They're probably the most important. Yeah. And now when you want to go to your actual lecture, when you know how I said I made the mistake of like recording and getting distracted, give your friend your phone. You can still record the lecture because it's actually really helpful. Points that you might have missed out when you were in the lecture, that you'll when you're playing the recording, you're just like, oh yeah, wow, I can't believe I missed that, and you write it down. So give your friend your phone so that she or he can stop you from being distracted or checking social media. And then you should take a notebook, pen, paper, and you should also have your lecture slides printed out, because they give you that as well. So you have those printed out. So when the lecturer is talking, you just annotate and you write extra notes by the side. So you know that all your attention is on the person that's speaking. After the lecture is over, whether you understand the topic or not, just stay behind. If you're the type of person who would procrastinate when you get home, stay behind in the library or the business school or whatever school you are in. Stay behind and go over the lecture. Make sure you understand everything. You can even try and record yourself explaining your notes, so that when you go over the recording of yourself explaining, you're like, yeah, I actually understand everything, and you can go back to the lecture notes and see what you missed. While you're doing that, you can also start looking at the past question papers. You know, the one that you made a Word document on. You look at that and see the questions you can actually answer, even if it's not a lot. Like, try and answer some of it, like, so that every time you have a new lecture, you're able to build on what you've already written. As for the recommended readings, because you have your textbook, read the chapters that was recommended in the course booklet, and start also explaining those notes. You know, like when you teach someone something, you tend to, like, the information tends to stick in your head, so that at any point in time anyone asks you something, you're like, yeah, I can explain this to you because it's something I understand. So if you don't have someone to teach the subject to, you can record yourself explaining the notes you've made from the lecture notes, from the recommended readings. You can do that, and even when you're on the bus or something, you can listen to yourself explaining the notes. That's not creepy at all. Sophia or Lara gave advice on making notes, but I made the mistake of condensing my notes rather than writing it the way I would understand, you know? So this way you're not condensing any textbook, you won't find that it's too much, and you won't get overwhelmed. Okay, so when you're practicing, when you're in your tutorial classes and they're giving you tutorial homework, you can start solving the tutorials, but do not have a solution with you. In fact, just take away your laptop and all your social media, put the Wi-Fi off and everything, so that all your attention is on that paper, and do it as if you're doing an exam where you cannot leave until you solve that question, whether you get it right or wrong, and you might even surprise yourself. This part of the video is where I'm going to talk about when you don't understand something. So when you don't understand something, please do not leave it and say, I'll come back to it. Please attack that immediately. Do not be ashamed to go ask a friend for help. Do not be ashamed to go on Skype and ask your parents for help. Like, you can be independent, but you have to be smart with what you're doing and actually solve that problem immediately, because you never know what will happen in exam. And that's what happened to me. Like, luckily this one turned out fine because it was a topic I didn't understand and I sought help immediately. So when I came out in the exam, I got really good marks, even though I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of knew the format, and yeah, it turned out well. So yeah, I'm grateful I did that. So please, if you don't understand something, do it immediately. Don't assume YouTube will be enough to like help you or anything. It can supplement your reading, but do not let it be the one that will solve your problem. Don't freak out when you have a problem, because that's what I did. I freaked out because I thought I could, even if this time it wasn't even YouTube. I was like I was in my tutorial class, and I was like, okay, I want the tutor to explain to me, but she was like, oh, she kind of doesn't understand the topic herself, and I was like, babe, are you serious right now? So yeah, I kind of went like, wow. And the lecturer is not someone that you can easily come and approach, so it's better that you find all the help you can immediately, whether it's from someone in the higher classes or something. Like, it's good to have someone to help you with your problem. You can even make study groups with your friends to like help you through the issue, and you never know what you might learn, so it's all good. So when you're getting like essays and everything is just piling up on you, do not freak out. Do not tell yourself uni is so stressful, I keep on going back and forth, I'm not making any progress, I kind of just want to quit. Like, there are times that people think that, oh my gosh, I just need a break from this, like I'm done. But don't think you're not making any progress, because you are making progress, and no one is going to just keep on trying, okay? Because no one is going to call you a failure if you keep on trying. Do not think about how much you have to do. Rather, think about how far you've come, and just keep working at it. Aim for progress, not perfection right now, because you will make good grades if you focus on making progress. Do not panic. If you find that you're procrastinating a lot, and rather than sitting down and watching Pretty Little Liars or Suits or anything like that, just open the newspaper, read some news, politics, anything. You can find things that will help improve your vocabulary when it comes to like writing essays, books and novels that will help your essay structure. So let's say you've already started panicking. Okay, so the first thing you should do, just sit down, make some green tea. If you want, you can have a little nap of like 30 minutes and then get back to your desk. Okay, do this. Put all the topics you have a problem with on one side, the ones you're clear about on the other side. Don't think about the ones that are coming, the lectures that are coming. Just focus on the ones that you have problems with now. Also, forget about what other people are doing. Do not think about do not think about that is really good at the subject. Do not think about how close the exams are. Just kind of focus on what you have right now and just tackle the problem you have right now in front of you. You will find the best study method for you, whether it is by trial or error or just by listening to this video. Now, when it's time to revise for exams, because you have already done all of this, because you have made your recordings of yourself explaining your notes, because you have your tutorials already done, you've already solved all of them, and you also have your model answers because you have been writing, like building upon the answers from every lecture. Okay, so when it comes to revising, all you have to do is look back at the solutions for the past papers if they give it. Some unis, they don't give you that, but you can see the feedback and see the areas that you missed out in your model answers, and if you were even correct, look at the feedback and see what you can build upon, and even try and find practical examples from the newspapers you've been reading and to add to the notes, because that will give you extra marks, because this is uni, they want you to be very practical. And all you have to do is practice the tutorials, re-listen to those recordings, and yeah, you'll be so, like, you won't feel the stress anymore. You'll be like, this is something I've already understood, so yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Now the final step is to trust God, because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and He's there for you. People usually think that, oh, when I'm in the exam hall, that's when I'll call on God and I say, oh God, please be with me in my exam. But they do not think about Him when they're going through the process of like actual like uni, you know, the work. They do not say, help me understanding this subject and all of that. They don't. It's only when it comes to exams. So when you're panicking, just remember 1 Psalm 28:7 that says, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him and He helps me. My heart leaps for joy, and with my song I give Him praise. Because in the end, you'll be like, thank you, Jesus. And I also want to tell the people that are also really afraid that you should not have the spirit of fear, because the spirit of fear will tell you that you're not good at something. It will tell you that you should just drop out and give up. Do not do this. Never give up. Even last year when I didn't understand something, I made lots of mistakes, but I never gave up. Like, I kept working at it, and I didn't get a bad grade. I ended up coming out with a 2-1 for first year. So I think that's fine. That's great. But I still want to get better in the way I study. And you should also remember that it's tough for everyone, even the best, even that person in your class you think that person's a know-it-all. How do they know all of this? Like, chill. But no, it's tough for them too. You just don't see it because all you see is them relaxing, and all of a sudden you're good at the subject. You're like, okay. But it's actually tough for them too, so just keep working hard. Don't give up. Don't let the spirit of fear take you to the point that it demotivates you, and that will eventually demobilize you, and you don't want that. And then you start losing passion for your subject, something that you know that you actually like. You're like, this is too difficult, maybe it's not for me. But no matter where you go, it will be difficult. There is a time it will be difficult, but because you have passion for it, you're willing to work hard at it. When you're picking a course, remember, pick a course that you have passion for, and not something that you'll get easy marks. Something that you come out of uni and said, yes, I actually got the best out of my uni experience. Do the courses that give you knowledge. You're not there just to get this first class. You're there also to gain knowledge from the experience. I was watching this YouTuber and she got first class. She said she might make a video about it, so I'll link her channel down below. So if she ever does, you can check it out. And yeah, it would be great to see what you can do to get that first class. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching my channel. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this helpful. I hope you did. I've refilmed this like a million times, but yeah, we'll see how it goes second year. I'll do a video on that as well. So, for watching, bye.
Grand 500 grams.